it live from Random Secret Studios in Philadelphia and all over the Delaware Valley.
I'm the Capo. He is the Prez.
And this is Sons of Ben, the Pod. Adam, Devin, welcome back to Sons of Ben, the Pod. This is episode, depending on your age and your level of sophistication of Sixers knowledge, this is the Hersey Hawkins edition. Or for you little kids, the Tobias Harris edition.
Oh, damn. I was going to say the Robert Covington.
No,
Rocco and Lime.
There's one thing that Covington and Tobias have is they go weak to the rim. That's about it.
Which one of them is still in the playoffs?
I think Hersey's still in the playoffs in the old man league at the Y.
That's fine. I mean,
Yeah.
Hey, man, Hersey Hawkins getting up. Shout outs. No, go ahead.
No, or as everyone in Philadelphia likes to say, Hershey Hawkins.
Hershey Hawkins. By the way, Cliff Lee, he was 33, right? Was that a thing? Was that his number?
Was he 33 or 34?
I think 34. Was that Kevin Millwood back in the day?
Might have
Was
been
Kevin Millwood 34? I have thoughts. Anyway,
Yeah.
Aaron Rowan was also 33. Fun fact. Okay,
True.
Moving on.
So
Or is he 22?
Episode 33 coming out of the gate strong. This week's guest is just us because A, scheduling problems all over the week, and B, we got a lot to talk about. We got a lot of things to say, so we figured let's just us get into this. So it's us
Matty,
three today.
Matt.
Yep.
The guest this week is my intepid rage. My low living, seething anger is our special guest this week. So don't worry.
That's been a like special reoccurring guest throughout the season.
Oh yeah,
So it's
no,
okay,
man.
you
Like
know.
sometimes you need Tuesdays with Ron McGill. Sometimes you need a recurring guest.
Your rage is kind of like Zsa Zsa Gabor on the Love Boat. It was like every other week she was on there.
And did you not love it?
That's why we tune in. That's why we made it to 33.
Exactly.
Little business. Everybody remember, Beer the Pod. We've got our friends Yards. We got our friends 2SP. We got our friends the Larimer. And we got news for at least 2 out of the 3. And today I'm drinking the Wunderdog from Yards. They finally came out with an Oktoberfest, and I tell you what, even on a hot August day, it's delicious. So get out to Yards, get that. 2SB has been stepping up. We'll get into that in a little bit. And of course, the Larimer, we'll talk about them because we got some viewing parties. So let's just get into it. Apparently, we had a little bit of a game on Tuesday night. Union Red Bull.
that was a very interesting rendition of Union Red Bull. Here's the thing. Is the rivalry now tilted in the opposite direction? The quote unquote not rivalry, like the best non-rivalry in MLS. Isn't it now tilted in the Union's favor? Because
let me tell you, and I know you want to get into it, but I don't want to do a spoiler, but Jim actually weighed on to that towards the end of the show.
Okay, so cool. All right, well, I'll get into that later. I'm just saying, like, I'm as a supporter, I actually had some correspondence with my Red Bull friends, and let me say they weren't really hype about this game. I think they were still despondent about the fact that their club allowed NYUFU to infiltrate and then put banners over the South Ward. So it's like I think they were so disenfranchised by the FO that they weren't even into this contest, which ended, 1-0, but could have been like 4-5, 6-0 if the Union didn't want to kick directly into a goalkeeper.
It should have been it's the only thing that concerns me about the team is that we should have more points on the board. This offense should be firing way more, and it's they're firing, they're just not converting.
There's no finishing boots, my boy. Yeah. There's no prolific finisher on this team, and this is going to be the overall issue. Now, granted, Casper got his goal, and the boy Ray Gaddis gave him a saucer, gave him an absolute beaut into the middle box.
And speaking of Casper, congratulations, sir. He about to be a papa.
I mean, look, shout out to a man who knows the correct goal celebration when he has it. Putting the ball under the shirt, getting a little thumb in the mouth, signifying that he's about to be a daddy. I mean, look, I'm happy that we're having so many union babies. There's a lot of union youth
The
being
academy
born.
is looking strong in about 15 years.
Oh my God, if we can maintain this pipeline to just like Central Europe that we now have with like the Wagners and the Shabilkos and all this, and then
Yeah.
our South American Ilsinho children's, it'll be, the child's, it'll be really good. I'm excited.
Ladies and gentlemen, I did challenge Adam to do a he scores when he wants, just ask his fiance chant, but we haven't worked that out just yet.
Look, man, this is a whirlwind. It was a lot at once, and I'm gonna try to see next game I'm at. I'm gonna make sure I can make that happen.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have like a T-shirt made with like goalkeepers and condoms cowering because Casper's coming to town because they can't stop him.
Trojan is terrified. Casper's on fire. Your Trojans are terrified.
So yeah, we all got to see the game, and I'll speak of this. The Sons of Quarantine went to the stadium. Adam was part of that, so I'll let you speak on that. I didn't get to join the group outside. I had other pressing issues. Well, they weren't issues. I ain't gonna lie. I got invited inside, so I was in the suite. So for the first time in my life, I got to see a
for
game.
you. Oh, that's so cool, Maddie. You got to sit in the box. That sounds so fun.
It's
I
the
was just out
first
there getting.
time in the history of the pod I got to be on Martha's Vineyard, and Adam was stuck in Philadelphia. It was good.
And you know what? I enjoyed my time in Philadelphia / Chester's waterfront, other than the mosquitoes. My God, they were vicious. Whatever's on the Delaware is just making them the size of cats. I don't know what that is, but that's redonkulous. Anyway, we had some technical difficulties, weren't going to lie, mainly because we were having some issues finding power, just in general. But we have fixed it. I like to say that the Sons of Ben are a great science experiment where your first go around might not be it, but if you keep plugging away, you figure out the formula that works for us. And I think we figured out what we're going to do in terms of making next week work. I've been putting my feelers out there trying to get some internet connections, as well as because we use an old school antenna. We had the rabbit ears out, and it worked pretty effectively. We got the game. We got to hear the soothing sounds of Tommy Smith and Dave Leno. It was good times had by all. But, good crowd. Good to see everyone. Social distancing was solid, and everyone had their mask except Sid. Sid, put your mask back on. Thank you. Appreciate your life. And yeah, had a blast. Can't wait for the next.
Yeah, and like I said, I was inside, which was really weird because we were invited. I was invited by Subaru, so I got to sit in the box with the heads of Subaru and marketing, and it's really the first time I've seen any of the pregame stuff because I've never been in the stadium. I might make it in right after the national anthem, just because we're wrapping up tailgate stuff and all that. So I've never got to see the team warm up. So I was just sitting there like watching them warm up. I look down the box row. I see our friend Richard. Devin, you remember who Richard is now? Because you forgot.
I remember.
Okay, good. The look of fear in Tim McDermott's face when he saw I was hanging out with their largest advertiser was truly priceless. Tim, I love you, but it's okay. I know how to schmooze. We'll be all right. So I didn't do any fake Jim Curtin quotes in the Subaru box. It was all good, but just got to see the game in a different way because for all these years I've been just watching in the river end. So it was different. It was cool, but I missed a lot of the game because you're talking and that kind of stuff. So I missed a lot of the second half. Where I thought, when I looked at it again, I'm like, man, we left some opportunities on the field. So hopefully we fix it because we got DC on Saturday. And the only thing that I'm worried about on Saturday is the remnants of Hurricane Laura.
Devin, you should run the odds of who ruins the biggest sponsorships first, me with Beambo or Matt with Subaru.
It's going to be a tight battle.
That could be
That's
a
gonna be a
good
really good
Twitter
one.
poll,
Yeah, which one of us ruins the union's best sponsorships? I mean, I'm a big fan of our Mexican bakery counterparts, but Maddie's getting real close to those people over in Camden. I see you, young man.
It could turn into you getting a Fast and Furious Subaru too. You never know.
Don't threaten me with a good time. You know exactly the color and style and how big the back fin is. Stop it.
Don't call it a spoiler. It doesn't spoil a thing.
This man, I'm a man after my own heart right now. No, look, I think that the Union are one prolific scorer away from being the scariest team in the Eastern Conference, and I mean that with no hyperbole. Look, this team's midfield is just like, even as a diamond, even as like a four-person midfield, has just so much talent and motor, and just like every one of those guys works their butt off, and you just know them as high work rate kind of individuals. The stat of the night was Alejandro Bedoya ran 7 bleeping miles in the course of one match, and that's your captain right there doing what he can all across that midfield. The back line of McKenzie and this time Glesnes was great. You had Matt Real step in, great play. You had Ray Gaddis with an assist. We just need to figure out how to put the ball in the net a little more often. And, I mean, look, Sergio and Shabilko are guys that if you put the ball directly in front of them and give them like a guiding light, they'll do it. And sometimes Shabilko can create his own, but it's a little frustrating watching these guys have tremendous opportunities and just be like, mediocre goalkeeper. Why don't you grab this right quick for me?
And even Aronson had that one right inside the 18, and he kind of fumbled. Of like, oh crap, I didn't think this pass was coming. And the weird thing is, I was down the stadium on Thursday at the tail end of practice because I had to put stuff away. And what do you think Mr. Aronson was doing the entire time? He was practicing that same shot, that same scenario of getting the ball right there and putting it in. So, God, I'm hoping that's where the scoring comes from. I still think, I've heard my friends are like, "Is Wooten a bust?" I'm going, Wooten didn't get any balls that were serviceable during that first half that I
He
saw.
didn't. He really didn't.
Because he's a guy that can finish out of, you know, getting garbage, turning garbage into gold. So yeah, I'm just hoping that's the final switch on this team is just they have the opportunities, they're forcing. It's not just we're yelling shots on goal, shots on goal. They're getting the opportunities, they're just not converting. So hopefully the floodgates open up.
It's the Union's version of the Flyers goalie crisis. Can you just get a true number 9 who just bags goals, And it's just like every once in a while you get Shabilko with 15 or someone who gets 12, and you're just like, maybe, but like I need a 20. I just need a banger. I need a banger with MASH, man.
I saw him at the Larimer after the game. He thinks he can still play. So, maybe we dust off that.
I actually believe Latu's hold-up play would be enough to set up a lot of guys for some good shots here.
Could be. All right, let's get a little news in, and then we'll talk a little bit about upcoming DC. But we've got viewing parties. Of course, the Larimer's going to have one. Kildare's down in Westchester's going to have one. We were going to have a book signing party this week from one of our favorite members and guests. But because of the hurricane, it's funny, our weather person is getting rained out of a book signing. So Katie Fellinger is going to be signing her book at the Larimer Saturday, September the 12th. So we're going to push it back to that last game. Katie will be there. I'm going to say it's like 2 hours, 3 hours before the game. So we're going to have a viewing party there. And I'm trying to think. The only other news we got, a little bit of a beer update. Look for it soon. But I talked to one of the brewers at 2SP. It's mid-October, guys. The beer sounds delicious. I don't want to leak what it's like just yet, but we're talking this week to figure out the parameters of what we can name it, and we want you, the Sons of Ben members and listeners, to throw suggestions in for naming the beer. So you get to name the beer. So we're going to be planning some stuff from now until mid-October, which is only about 6 weeks away till we get our the brand new Sons of Ben the beer. I guess Devin, we've got Drunken Union Zoom is tonight. We're late to it.
Well, actually, we are recording during it. So
Recording during it, and
there
then
is
Crap,
that.
it's Friday, isn't it? Should I wait? Should
Yeah.
I sign on? Hold on, let me see if I can get a link from Jared mid pod.
we're in
Yeah.
mid-pod.
mid-pod.
A mid pod, yeah. Maybe this will be some like inside baseball. They'd be
Yeah.
like yeah. Okay, hold on.
And while
Continue, I'm
you're
sorry.
fuddling with that, Devin, you got a little Discord action for us? You got any updates on what's going on in that wild world of my mess?
Yeah, we got some Discord news. I guess it's not really news, but it's an update. The predictions leaderboard still going strong over here. Only 2 people guessed the correct score for the Red Bull game. It was Mike Thomas and at Mumbles. So they both got 3 points and are now atop of the leaderboard for predictions.
I'm pretty sure
So
Mike
all it
Thomas.
takes is one game.
No, but
to,
Mike Thomas just is a pessimist, so that's why he just gave 1-0. That's not, like Mike Thomas is like you're gonna win, but they're gonna win it the worst way possible. I'm like Mike, come on, man.
There it is.
Give me a little more.
He did not predict a 0-0 draw though. So
No, he knows they're good enough to get the dub, but just okay. So hold on, I
But,
have gotten the link.
So yeah, hop in the Discord, get your predictions in. There's still some room to catch up to them guys, so you guys can win yourself some Union gear.
Yeah. Now we'll get into the meat of this, and Devin, I apologize because I was working off of my notes, not your notes. I know we wanted to get more into just some of the news, like how I don't know. How do you want to describe how Jim's just kind of? God damn, it's just nice. It's great to have a coach that's got his, to quote Jeffrey Lurie, which I hate to do, his emotional intelligence. And I know you wanted to start the discussion off on, Jim's midweek press conferences.
Are you throwing this to me or Adam?
I was throwing it
'Cause
to
Adam
Devin.
looks ready.
But-
Adam
well,
looked ready to go. He's
No,
he's
I'm like,
very
look, man,
fine.
Devin. No, Devin.
No,
that
yeah,
was
no,
all you.
okay, yeah. So
you
I
tee
no,
him
I,
up and
I
let
did,
him swing away.
Exactly.
No, I did. Obviously, there's a lot of places we can go with this, and a lot of places I want to go with this.
Yeah.
But today, Jim came out. They had a little media thing today, and just some great quotes from him. Literally, he answered a question with a book about the current issues, and like you were saying, it's amazing to have a coach that is so dedicated to things like this, and that is willing to let the players have their say in what's going on, and get their voices heard, and not hold anybody back from what they want to say.
I mean,
One of the quotes, I'll give you a direct quote from what he said here. I'm pulling this from the Joe Tanzi's tweet here, but he said, "Soccer is completely secondary right now to what is going on in the world, and the police reform that needs to happen, and the treatment of African Americans in this country. Soccer is certainly not even in the backseat. It's not even in the car in this discussion." And that is such strong words from him. I mean, you look around the community right now, and you see some of the things that are being said from other people, and even in high places, and you really don't like seeing it. I know we'll get in the RSL discussion, and there was some Flyers World discussion that's kind of the reason why these discussions need to happen, because there's still people out there that are like the RSL owner. But we'll get into that. Adam?
Look, when you look at it and you really want to break it down, you have such a collection of just genuinely unintelligent humans making really unintelligent statements right now, when all they really need to do is shut up. They don't actually have to say anything, and they're making stupid statements. The owner of Real Salt Lake pulled what I can only consider to be one of the stupidest moves in the history of mankind, when more people didn't ask for you to do anything. People just said, hey, what is your thoughts here on this? And you made it all about yourself. You made the whole thing about who you are, like, oh man, I'm going to have to lay off workers, and I can't keep money in, and what are these guys thinking? And it's a disrespect to me. And it's just like, bro, no one cares. Like, I'm over this weird sense that owners get that now they are everything to this, that they are the club. Yes, you own the club. That is your club. But no one, and I mean no one, really gives a crap about what you think 99.9% of the time. It is best to just give money where you can, be a philanthropist, and then leave it the bleep alone.
And
That's
here's the
it.
thing with that, especially with the RSL owner. I don't know if this is common knowledge at this point, but there is an athletic article about this isn't something that's just been the past week of his comments. This
Oh.
is something that has been in the RSL culture for years now. And shout out to the Athletic for the work they did in that article, because amazing work on that. They went back and pulled some people in and got some great quotes from people around the
He's
club.
trying
And
to get on the Mount Rushmore of owners with the Knicks owner and the former owner of the Clippers. Is where his mouth is taking
No,
his
see,
ass right now. Except
I'll give
they're not going to buy RSL for billions of dollars, so he's just shooting himself in the foot. And all I want to say is, for all you Jay haters out there, and we got tons of them in the community, you know, once in a while you just got to go, thank God we don't have that owner, and we've got Jay instead of this guy.
Look, man, I thank myself all the time. I'm a fan of the Sixers and not the Knicks, you know? It's one of those kind of things. But it ultimately breaks down to you, like, your job as an owner is to put the money where it needs to be, to get stadiums built, to secure funding for things. Your job is you're the umbrella. You're the grand overseer, you know? And you get some of these owners like the Maras or the Rooneys, where you know they exist, but you haven't heard one of them speak in 12 years. You know, they all keep to themselves. They all put the money where it's supposed to be. And then you get the Dolans. You get the Jerry down there in Dallas. You get all of these guys who want this weird spotlight about them, and this is why you get. And here's the thing: Donald Sterling, all for all of his BS, was at least an owner who just didn't, you know, who wasn't trying too hard to just say he got caught on tape. Like, he wasn't going in a press conference and saying, I hate black people. He was just caught on tape saying, I kind of wish you wouldn't put them on my court. You know, I kind of wish you wouldn't sit courtside in one of them, even though that one was Magic bleeping Johnson. But that's okay. It's as an African American in this particular moment, you know, it's frustrating to me because majority of these leagues have my people as the primary providers of the entertainment. Outside of the NHL, black people are the primary in 3 of the other 4 sport leagues, and people of color as a whole for baseball are probably, if not equal to, if not outnumbering the Caucasian members of baseball now. And time after time, these owners say, we might not care about you as much as you think we probably should.
Now, I don't even want to delve into that because we're going to go down a rabbit hole. But I wish every owner of any sports team would understand that it's a covenant. When you take over a sports team in a city, you're making an agreement with that community, because communities breathe and live through their sports. We talked about it on this pod before, where we could almost fix racism if everybody would be like, hey, you're an Eagles fan? Great, you're my brother. And oh, you're a Giants fan? Screw you. You know, people stop seeing black and white. They just see midnight green or Giants blue. But there's a sacred covenant. And here's the deal, sports owner: you buy the team, you shepherd us through times. You provide the entertainment, you do what you can to make the city that you represent feel good throughout your ownership. And you know what? You're going to be really fucking rich afterwards. That's the covenant. That's all you got to do. We don't need to see you. We don't need to hear from you. Just run the team in a way that your community has pride about and can be proud about being a fan of that team. And then you're going to be even wealthier than you were when you bought the team. Is it that hard to do? So,
Yeah, no. Yes. The answer to your question is, time after time I've been told yes, but it's okay because, you know, what this does is it gets new owners in there. You know, here's the thing. I don't think he's going to lose his freaking team over this, nor should I think he should lose his team over this. But he will suffer consequences, and not
I
even
mean,
from the
hey,
league. It's just
Josie Altidore said he's got people that want to buy the team.
look,
You know, I
buy
don't know if you
it.
saw
Okay.
that.
Buy it and have his people buy it straight up. But that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what's going to happen here. And here's the thing. We all can hate Donald Sterling as much as we want. He made the most profitable racist comment in the history of mankind. This man made almost $1.5 billion worth of a racist comment. Because the
I don't know.
Clippers...
The East India Trading Company of Britain might have done a little bit better, but that's just
In
a
one
whole.
transaction, though, I'm just saying, in one transaction of racism, the man made $1.5 billion. That usually is not how that works.
Yeah. Now, speaking of mismanagement, again, one of our favorite, the MLS made a statement on.
Oh boy.
Was this Wednesday night, Devin? That they
It
made the
was
statement
yeah, it
Thursday?
was well yeah, it was Wednesday, the day that they canceled every game except for Orlando Nashville. We won't get into that, but
Oh my God! No, we will. No, we will. No, we will. Because I got something for the Magic Kingdom. Oh,
Go
I
ahead.
got something for the
So
Magic
the
Kingdom.
MLS takes credit for what the players made a decision on,
yeah,
and then shortly later, the Don came back and with a statement today of congratulating players on being brave with their decision and that they support them. So without saying they were wrong, he said that they were wrong. But MLS was quick to charge out to say that
well
they did the right thing
that's the
right
thing
away.
about this. It should not come from the league.
No,
This should not be on a league level at any point of this.
and it
It
hasn't
was the
been.
players that came together, and it has nothing to do with the league. If they want to make a statement, okay, but don't try to say that you're canceling the games. This is not on you.
No, no. Look, if these people just want to stop playing, I'm here for it at this point. Because this is stupid. This whole thing is stupid. You know, the Premier League is starting in 2 weeks, right? We literally just gave a crown like 5 weeks ago. We're already starting that shit up again. All of this stuff came back from money. All right, because anyone who looks at the championships, whoever wins the Stanley Cup is going to win it in Canada into an empty arena. Whoever is going to win the NBA Finals is going to win it in Disney World in an empty arena. You know, all of this stuff is happening in the biggest farce ever because of a global pandemic that not enough of us took seriously. And on top of this now, we're having a crisis of morality in this country. And people are just like, but put ball in hoop for me so I can be distracted from the conversation I really need to have. And it's just like, at this point, I'm just like, man, just throw it up. What are we still doing this for? Because all we're doing is pissing each other off. Either we play the anthem. If we play the anthem, someone's pissed. If we don't play the anthem, someone's pissed. Someone takes a knee, someone's pissed. Someone doesn't take a knee, someone's pissed. And here's the thing that I got for Orlando. Why is Nani the only person taking a knee for you? He's not even bleeping American. And he's the only person taking a knee there. I don't even give a crap if you want to stand. But you left him hanging to dry as the only person on your team when the entire Nashville squad and the referees took a knee? Like, I'm not even trying to shame. I'm just wondering, why don't you have your dudes back? It's just, that's weird. That's weird. And on top of all of this, I understand in principle, you got to get these games in. You know, if you want this season to end somewhat in a semblance where you can start again next March on time-ish, you got to get these games in. You got to figure out some way. We don't even know what's happening after the original 6 games we already planned. You know, that we have no idea if we're going to have more after that. You know, Kansas City has fans. Philadelphia doesn't have fans. Dallas has fans. New Jersey doesn't have fans. So, like, what are we, like, this whole thing to me can just be nipped in the bud real quick if we just say we're not. And that sends a better message than all of this. And everyone's going to get mad because they're all about the millionaires can, take off time and the rest of us have to go to our jobs. Yeah, I'm sorry your job got shit benefits. I'm sorry these guys work their ass off to put themselves in a position to have a privilege that they make enough money that they can take a couple of days off in the names of social justice. I'm sorry. But you don't listen to the normal people when they take off. You don't listen to the regular people who are in the streets every third night in Portland. But when LeBron says something, the whole bleeping world listens, and that's why he doesn't work on Wednesday, because he knows that impact that he has. That's why these guys didn't play the other day, because they know them playing in their hearts is complacency to what's going on out there. And they're like, we don't like what's going on out there, so we're not going to entertain you to distract you from what you should be paying attention to. And now sports.
Now, Jim also, the other part to that, that them not taking the field, it actually affects the people that you want it to affect. It affects the owners, it affects the media around them, it affects the advertisers, but it's the people who actually do have a hand in any decisions that are made on a macro level, you know, where it goes into politics and whatnot. You know, that's a whole other conversation. But you not playing actually has multiple effects, because now you're affecting somebody who before was not affected by this at all, and now maybe changes their mind to make a change too. So
Yeah, maybe the only positive thing about the MLS misstep with their quote saying that they, agreed to cancel the one night, not the players, was that Don said that, or the Black Players for Change are going to have a face-to-face meeting with the owners. I don't know how that didn't happen before, except I understand you can't have a face-to-face meeting. I don't know why it took this, but at least there's going to be a sit down, and I would rather have those guys sit down with the owners and not with the league. Because let's be honest, the league works for the owners, not the other way around. So if you get the owners to get a little bit of I don't want to say social guilt, but social wisdom from these guys, and they can make it a better league. That's the conversation we need to have, or they need to have for everyone.
And this is, and what is really important to me about this in particular is, look at Utah, and I have no problems with the state of Utah, but look at Utah, and if anyone wants to just casually Google the black population of Utah, it's 1.4%. There's 47,000 people who identify as African Americans in the entire state of Utah. So is it funny that the owner of Real Salt Lake had this position when his fan base could only at best be made of a minuscule portion of the African American population? It's not shocking to me that those are the owners speaking out, because this don't affect them either way. And what I need are the owners to speak out like Sugarman, like the guy up in New Jersey with the Red Bulls, because you're in black neighborhoods, because you're in black communities. I need to hear what you have to say about these things as you use these communities to funnel your teams. I don't give a damn about what the guy in Utah says, but I'm happy he exposed himself for being the idiot that he is. And I hope more of them expose themselves. But I want to hear about the individuals where this affects directly. And I haven't heard enough of them either. This MLS misstep has brought to light a lot of things. And ultimately is showing even the best leagues, the leagues that are supposed to be the more liberal ones, the more accepting leagues, still got a long way to go to just having the simple conversations that we need to have to grow as people.
Yeah, well, let's a harsh reality of sports is the only color that these leagues care about is green.
Green.
And that the players are a commodity, just like the marketing people are a commodity, just like the people that are selling beer are a commodity. They are a means to an end to get more money in for that professional team. So maybe that's the silver lining in all of this, that everyone during this whole pandemic, during this time of unrest, during the players, walking off for a day or two, owners go, oh, there's more to life than making the most amount of fucking money I can make. And maybe I should use my platform as a wealthy individual with someone with a voice in a community, because people look at these sports teams for guidance. For some reason, they look to the sports teams for guidance, and maybe we can lead by example. Adam, you want to wrap this line of thought up, and then we can try to move on.
Man, just be nice to people. Like, I don't know any person who's not hurting right now for one reason or another. This pandemic has kicked everyone's ass, and I'm just like, just be nice to people, cause like we don't know how much longer we gotta do this. I got the fear of protests coming down my door again tomorrow, and I'm just like, man, just be nice, because I'm just so tired of us being not. It's really flipping annoying.
Just the only thing I'm going to say is just before you act, before you open your mouth, think about what the person that you're going to talk about, or think you're talking about is going through before you say what you're going to say. Because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know their perspective. And this is on all sides. This is everybody, like people that want to bash cops all across the country, the good, the bad, the ugly, people that want to bash people of race. Just shut up, listen, and try to think what their day to day is before you start making an opinion of how they should be living their lives.
Just to wrap it up, JT just tweeted out 20 seconds ago that Warren Corral's shirts have been restocked in the MLS online store. So there's that. Go get yourself a shirt.
Nice work. Oh man, so we have to get into a little bit of other news, and then some news of upcoming pods. But before that, we got sidetracked. Devin, you were talking about our man Jim had some quotes after the Red Bull victory.
Oh boy.
And I think you had, something from Tansy, and honestly, it wasn't Kincaid, but I couldn't tell because we get that little live feed off the team Zoom, and we get to see, but I couldn't hear who was saying it. Definitely wasn't Kincaid, but somebody was just going, just that typical stereotypical Jim. What's it like to beat the rival? How's it feel gearing up on a rivalry game against the Red Bulls of Nueva Jersey, And this was Jim, just very dry, not emotional about it, but he goes, the league puts a lot of value on these games, and it's always great to beat a rival. But after another win over them, maybe the Red Bull fans were right. They aren't our rivals.
Boom.
I still am the king of the idea there's the union have no rivals. That's fine. That feels more natural to me than anything else.
Right now, bring on Atlanta. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. That they're the only people we have to knock off their horse. Just bring on Atlanta. That's our new rivalry.
Wait, but aren't they like bottom of the table right now? Didn't they win like a game? I don't remember them winning like a game. By the way, Miami beat Orlando, which made me so happy because then that like literally cooled off Orlando's boner because they were just like, we're the kings of Florida. Miami's like, our only win as a franchise is against you.
Orlando is the worst of the new franchise teams, but they've been around for like 6 years.
Franchise boys.
Yeah.
That is a hip hop reference that 3 people on this podcast is going to get. I just want to throw that out there. But no, Atlanta is what we can consider mid-table. I would say that, yes.
Well, I'm just saying historically now. Atlanta's the standard that's who we're going after to knock off the East. That's it. This is 1990s baseball. Philadelphia versus Atlanta. That's it.
That didn't really go well for us back then.
True. Well, hopefully we'll be all right. Speaking of baseball.
Really?
Is the Pandemic Crew the MVP of the Phillies, Adam? Because I can't think of any other MVP except those guys that are standing outside the gate with air horns and stuff.
JT Realmuto. But secondly, it would be the Pandemic Crew. Here's the thing. I love it because I think a lot of cities would do this, but it's very on brand for Philly. And thankfully, we have a sunken stadium as opposed to one of those ground level stadiums, so this can work. That's good. Because it's like, if this was a ground level stadium, this would be super awkward. But I'm happy that, it's. I always kind of joked when I was a kid, like, well, I want someone just stand in Ashburn Alley, just watch from there, but I'm happy we have people paying attention. It's cute because they have their 30-second delay because they'll have the TVs out there and like Bryce Harper will hit the home run and then you'll be like later, what? And you're just like, aw, they heard it, they saw it now.
And
No.
and then I don't know if you guys noticed the Eagles in the city of Philadelphia and their infinite wisdom have banned tailgating. So no fans, no tailgating.
That's a good idea. I
Well,
can't.
good
No.
good for the pandemic, but I got to think FDR Park is going to be packed with RVs every Sunday,
yeah.
no matter what.
Well, no, that's why the cops got to be the one shutting down FDR Park, and they're weird. I got mad as hell when they stopped letting us park in FDR Park. That was my ace in the hole going to Sixers games when they were like
Oh, yeah.
in the middle of the process. It'd be like $10 Sixer tickets and free parking in FDR Park. Sold. Let's go.
Back then, you should have been able to park on Pattison and not even get a ticket. But
Yeah, well, no. I did get a ticket, so I stopped doing that shortly after. But that's when the Sixers and the Phillies were running over each other. So Phillies games, they were actually, monitoring the streets.
our Flyers are, I believe, all tied up, and we've got games on Saturday and Sunday. Devin, any thoughts?
Yeah, Flyers. Well, first of all, Game 2 couldn't have went better, but at the same time worse, because they went up 3-0 in the first 10 minutes, and then the game went to overtime.
They
3-3.
scored too early, man. You can't score too early.
Yeah, but they did get
seriously.
the win after losing 5-0, so that's always good. But I wouldn't say they have a huge amount of momentum going into the next game, because the fact that the Islanders were able to come back, it doesn't
Now
give you
here's,
too much confidence. Saying.
and call me stupid, but is the Saturday Sunday game an advantage for the Flyers? Being a little bit younger, and because the Islanders are so explosive offensively, will that slow them down on Sunday?
You
That's
said to
just
call
my
you
quick
stupid,
thought.
right? Is that
Huh?
what you said? You said to call you stupid.
Yeah.
Is that no, I don't think that has any. With the way they're playing right now in a bubble, it's not. I don't even think they know what day of the week it is.
And
Back to backs are still back to backs, man. That is not
But
easy.
like, well, here's the thing, though. I don't know, man. Back-to-backs in a bubble, I think, are different. I think it's like AAU ball.
Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
You're not traveling 3 hours home.
That's what I'm
after the
saying. Like
game, and then-
me, because my girlfriend went to a Raptors Sixers game when we were up in Toronto before all of this we were all shut down, and she was even saying like the way that you could create a bubble there because all of the streets around the arena are basically made for the arena. Like no other traffic goes through it, and it's flanked by two really large hotels. So like I was watching the inside the bubble thing that they were doing, like trying to describe how it worked, and I was just like, this is just AAU ball. Yeah, these guys should be like. Do I think playing back-to-backs in the playoffs is ridiculous? Yes, but you should be able to. You ain't going anywhere. You get to go home immediately. You get to walk to your hotel, go to sleep immediately, and just get back at it. You're 24. Let's go.
All right. Well, in Sixers news, I don't know if you saw this.
Shut
they're
up.
looking for a waterfront arena. Now, before we get into that, before we get into all the politics of, here's all I got to say. Hey, Union, do you want a new neighbor? We got waterfront. We got a place to put an arena. And you know what? I bet SEPTA will build a fucking railroad for us.
Sixers are gross.
Sixers to Chester.
The Sixers are
Hashtag that up,
gross.
man.
I'm so mad about this. I'm not gonna lie, and I even like the politics of it. Also, the timing of you just dropping this little rosebud is just off, flipping, just egregious. But here's the thing. Yeah, I do believe the Sixers should build their own stadium. I believe that, a lot of these teams do that. Yeah, like a lot, like, yes, the Rangers and the Knicks still share MSG, but A, MSG. B, we've learned from NYUFU, real estate, hard to find in the greater New York area. So it's not like you can just, walk around, just build them a brand new stadium. But look, Detroit had 2 stadiums. LA is trying to get a stadium, or the Clippers are trying to get their own digs, even in the same city. Like the idea in 2020 that all of these teams need to share arenas, you don't really have to. These teams make enough money where sharing arenas it's not necessary. And for a situation like the Sixers, it hurts your bottom line because it's not a sharing. You're paying rent, you know. So I'm like, my economic capitalist self says, yeah, the Sixers should have their own arena. My fight the proletariat, screw the bourgeoisie says, no, Philadelphia should pay $0.00 to help the Sixers build this stadium.
The days, I think those days are past, especially with the owners of other stadiums and other sports paying for it, and the fact that Josh has got so much money. I I honestly, because one,
Sell a team.
that site that they're looking at doesn't work on any level. It's only 8 acres. The Barclays Center in Brooklyn is on 14. This does not. There's no parking there anyhow, and you're not going to ruin what they've been trying to do for 30 plus years, revitalizing the Philadelphia waterfront by putting a box in front of the water that nobody can see the waterfront. So it is not going to work. But what I think was this was the Sixers going, hey, let's forget that we exited out, we got swept. Let's forget that we're inept and we're not going to find a coach because it took us about a half a year to find a GM. Let's just float this out there so people get mad because we're thinking about a new stadium and they forget that we're running this team into the ground again.
No, I mean, look, here's three things. One, the Sixers could have beat the Celtics if Ben Simmons was healthy. So I have a weird feeling about that series, okay? Yeah, getting swept sucks, but not having your all-star point guard who got kind of hosed for Defensive Player of the Year, yeah, I kind of feel a certain way about that. And this is me, a pessimistic Sixers fan. But look, I'm 100% for this stadium being created as long as it doesn't involve the city of Philadelphia in any capacity other than finding them the subsequent acres they need to make it work. But, you know, to everyone who's saying that this is Josh Harris's play to move the team to Newark, just go. Look, I love you. Stop. Get that out of my mentions immediately. Stop it. Because, A, we've already done the New Jersey Nets, and they're in Brooklyn now for a very good reason. And B, no, New York does not need a third team, and it still would not be a better media market than Philadelphia. I'm sorry. Yeah. That's the craziest thing is, if you are a sports owner, Philadelphia is a peak market. There's you don't move teams. They used to back in the day when, Midwest expansion was a thing. But in 2020, Philadelphia is the last place you would move a team away from. Your market share can't be better than a city like Philadelphia.
And they're not moving. They don't want to have to travel that far from the practice facility that they just built all the way up there for game day. So that's not going to happen. So no, I think Sixers to Chester, right next to Subaru. It's going to be beautiful. That whole stadium complex down there, and SEPTA will have to come. That's just my take on that. Go ahead. I think
the Sixers will build a Center City adjacent basketball arena, and I support that infinitely more than I support Temple getting a football stadium. But because one will actually make money. Guess which one? But no, what's real important, but I do believe Philadelphia low-key has the same problem New York does. We don't got the real estate for it. We don't just have the real... A third of our cities
in the Navy Yard.
Oh. Okay, but, that's true.
Yeah. So Adam, we're going to get back to soccer. Back to why people are tuning in, apparently, I don't know if you've heard this rumor, and this is, as a Union fan, it burns my ass. As a Chelsea fan, it burns my ass. But as a soccer fan, you're like, okay, I guess it's good. Apparently, the Argentinian Aronson might be going to Man City. And it has a Don Garber, I got a boner clause in it, that after 3 years, he would go to NYUFU to then, after another second or third year, he would be able to cut the ribbon to their new stadium. So that's like 6 years out, right? So what are we thinking? Can the Argentinian Aronson, can Messi, can he play baseball? How's he going to play
No.
in NYUFU?
This is never going to happen.
Yeah, he
He's
will
Messi,
never. He will
even if it's
never
in the
suit up
contract.
for NYCFC.
Yeah, it could be in the contract as concrete as you want it
Yeah.
to be, but he's Messi. It's not going to happen.
Pirlo will
Like,
play more minutes than Messi will ever play in an NYCFC jersey.
Well, who's going to play more, Frank Lampard or Messi?
Frank Lampard. He at least put the
I think he
uniform
played like 6
on.
minutes.
Frank Lampard was in the 18. That'll be more than Messi will ever have in New York City. Messi might get a nice condo in New York City, but like, look, man, Michael Jordan ain't going to China to play basketball, yo. That's not how this works, you know.
Now I could see it happening if NYC get a stadium, but that's not going to happen in the next 3
But
years.
he wouldn't-
He's not going to come to NYC to play in a
But
baseball
why would he go
field.
to New
That's not
York?
happening.
Why would he go to New York?
Yeah, well, because
That's not
yeah,
it. Like,
I mean, it's still New York though. It's
Well,
not.
New York is
it's-
great, but it doesn't slap like we think it slaps.
It's
you
the
know.
city group. He gets to be an ambassador because
And
how
that.
many teams do they own around the world?
Like 4,
that.
And
five.
they'll probably give him some a minority ownership of NYC.
I think
if
going
he
to
gives some shit.
Melbourne would be a smarter move. That's just
he
me.
probably gets like 2 oil rigs or something, and that's it. Like then he doesn't have to worry about it. Or they take care of his. They hire a tax attorney for him, and his life's better. I don't know. All right, let's get back to Adam coming
No, I was
soon on
just
the
saying-
pod.
No, I was just saying,
Okay.
lastly, there's only 3 cities in America anyone wants to go to from Europe. It's New York, LA, and Miami. And he's going to Miami. If he comes to America, he's going to Miami. The man's not going to go to New York
Devin,
City.
can you check the levels on my ears, because I thought he said Philadelphia, 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 because that's what I should have heard.
No one wants to come to Philadelphia. I love us. No one
Oh,
wants to come
stop
here.
you.
No one
Stop
wants to
you.
come
You're gonna-
here.
dog,
This
you
is why
are-
we have an
You're
academy.
moving back to the main line.
This
man.
is why we have an academy system, because we
No,
can't get
we have an
superstars to
academy
show
because
up here.
Someone's cheap. Someone's cheap.
Both of these things
Saying
can't
that
be true.
Messi is going to come to Philly is the same as him saying he's going to go to Nashville or Cincinnati.
Right, exactly, man.
Those things are
Oh,
not going to
I don't
happen.
think
We're
Messi's
not
coming to Philly. We
sexy
already
enough.
have him. We already have him. We've got a 19-year-old version of him. We don't need the old version. Don't worry about it.
I dream
right.
of the day.
So coming up on the next couple episodes of the pod, we're gonna have some special guests. We've laid some groundwork, so look for that coming up soon. Hopefully, we can announce it. We are going to do what I describe as turning 24-year-old Devin into 58-year-old gray-haired Devin. We are going to do a tribute show to Philadelphia Sports Talk Radio. So get ready for some announcements on that. And Devin, you've got beautiful, beautiful hair. I can't wait to watch you pull it out one by one. Just
I'll have you know I am 25. Thank you very much.
Oh my God. Old man,
and I
Maddie.
swear to God, I hope I know you in 5 years where you start lying
Old
about I'm only
man.
29. I'm only 29.
I am
So-
firmly a 30-year-old man, and I won't tell anyone otherwise, because you know why? I still look good.
And then lastly, we haven't sprung this on Adam yet, but we're gonna do an episode dedicated to Chance.
The rapper?
So we're
Ooh, do we get to do research? Can we like research the history of the Sons of Ben Chance?
no,
That'd be
we're
fun.
gonna do
Chance.
suggestions.
Chance. I thought you were talking
Fan
about
listener-
Chance.
No, Chance.
Okay. Yeah,
So
okay,
we're
cool.
we're gonna go through and get some suggestions and maybe try some recordings out. It's gonna be a train wreck beyond train wreck. So that's kind of upcoming on future episodes of the pod.
I can't wait.
Adam,
Yes, sir.
Hersey Hawkins is retired, man. Episode 33 in the books.
Look, man, I'm a big fan of what we did here today because it was efficient, quick, and I got like 6 rants in. This is more therapy for me than a podcast. I really just want to throw that out there. I've had a lot of stuff pent up this week, so this is happy to express it, and the way I got to express it. Also, real quick, the Philadelphia Fusion are the #1 seed in North America, and they're going into the playoffs starting next week, I believe. And we're going to try to win a championship for Philadelphia. Okay, bye.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in to episode 33 of the Hersey Hawkins Chronicles. And stay safe out there. Remember, wash your hands.
Sexy.